Just finished up with Ariel, and I gotta tell you, I was kind of blown away. So it's Yahoo, for one. I feel like I'm giving you information, and I'm doing that in an attempt to serve and help Ariel, because I don't feel like he's done a great job of that. And sometimes when when you live in something, you just think everybody else knows. But by example, I said, hey, where does this live? And I never knew if this was Yahoo or Google. I just knew it was one of the big guys. So it's Yahoo. It'll be on the Yahoo homepage. But I'm told all you'll have to do to see Ariel's content is go to Ariel Helwani's YouTube page. And this is going to be called the Ariel Helwani Show, not the MMA Hour. And I learned that. I thought Ariel owned the name MMA Hour. It turns out he does not. Okay, great. So there's my plug him so you can find him. Mondays he'll be back. He'll be doing his show. Now, here he's doing a live event, and I go in, I go through a control room. I mean, it's staffed with about 18 people with their laptops out and feeds, and they got the audio and the microphones, and then you go into a actual venue. We're at the Venetian, a very nice hotel, and he's in a bar area with a stage set up, and he's bringing on guests, and it's open to the audience, and it was packed. It was very cool to see. It was very cool for everybody that came out. I know that's a big deal to Ariel. I've never done a live show, and I've never done one, guys, because I don't know if you guys would come. I'd be embarrassed. I didn't know if he was going to have this kind of support. And when I was in the back, I ran into Deiveson Figueiredo. Now, Deiveson is wearing a t-shirt that I got a photo of and I will be posting on my social media. Deiveson is campaigning for a title shot, and I respect that. Nothing is done. Nothing. Not even when an announcement is made. You can follow those rules if you want, or you can ignore those rules, understanding that they aren't rules. Go and take it from the guy. It is competitive like anything else. Everything starts somewhere. Nurmagomedov is going to be the #1 contender. Well, Nurmagomedov's awfully impressive at 18-0, but he's not a former world champion. Not for nothing, right? It's a very meaningful argument. Nurmagomedov, very impressive at 18-0. He's not beaten former world champions. And I'm not attempting to get in Umar's way. I don't believe anything will get in Umar's way. I'm just trying to prove the point for you guys that when Deiveson shows up, first off, he looks like $1 million. I mean, this guy's like carved out of stone. You know those guys? And he's got this shirt on, but it's a one-off. He goes and makes it himself. He's got these pictures on the shirt, and he's got pictures of Umar, and he's got pictures of Khabib, of Merab and of O'Malley and himself, and he's punking these guys, right? He punked them. He put the artwork in. He wouldn't have the shirt made. You might think that's a small deal, but who else is doing that? You think if we go find Umar right now that Umar's got a shirt made, or do you think that Umar is resting well and confident that he is fighting for the title next? And let's talk about that again, because O'Malley agrees with that. O'Malley agrees it should be Umar. And O'Malley will accept Umar and call Umar out if he wins the match at Spear Saturday night. But Merab doesn't agree with it. Merab believes it should be Deiveson Figueiredo. And it's not as though that's not a bad argument. Right? I mean, I was just laying it out for you a minute ago, like 18-0 on Umar. 4 years in the industry, 6 in the octagon, won them all. Not to mention, he's carrying the last name who might be the second name in fighting, only behind Gracie, right, of Nurmagomedov. That's incredible. But I make a very fair point when I tell you he wasn't a world champion. He hadn't beaten any former world champions. He hasn't knocked out world champions. Deiveson didn't. And we cannot pretend that Deiveson doesn't exist. We can't pretend that if we were to put a poster together and you're just trying to draw and you're just trying to move the needle, what do you think, guys? What do you think? What do you really think? If you were going to get the revenue for it, going to go right into your bank account, I'm just asking you to be really sincere. What do you think draws more? Umar or Deiveson. Picture that poster. O'Malley versus Figueiredo. Imagine the hair on the stage at the press conference, just for fun. You might come back and say, Umar, I'm just suggesting for you the challenge. I'm just suggesting for you that it's not quite as obvious as you might think. I'm suggesting for you that, we had some talk in there that it was Sandhagen, which is a great choice, that it is going to be Nurmagomedov. Makes sense. But somehow we did forget about Deiveson. And now he's come to Vegas. He didn't speak a word of English, by the way. He comes out here, and so to tell his story, he's got an interpreter, Captain E, with him. He's going on Ariel's program, which is hard to get on. Ariel's only having 4 guests he's bringing in on. He's done his marketing of his shirt, and he's got a guy in the main event saying that he should be next. These are great problems to have. This is the way this game is supposed to be played. And so many times, the guy that gets upended and ends up with his feelings hurt and said, but you said, you must understand, promoters aren't liars. They're as good as the information they have at the time. So when nobody's campaigning for it, Merab hasn't called anybody, all of a sudden that all changes. All of a sudden you guys weigh in with a voice. I'm just sharing for you. This is how this is supposed to be done.